are going to arise.
It is.
Sometimes you might be on a strong boat, but that boat might end up sinking just because maybe he trying to move you to a place to stop relying on the boat. What is your boat? That's what I would ask.
What is your boat?
Is your boat a family member? Is your boat someone you thought was a friend and they really wasn't? Is your boat a job? Is your boat finances? Is your boat your dream? Is it your goal? Because I've come to realize in this last year, God ain't gonna give you nothing that you think you can do on your own. Anytime he gives you a dream, anytime he gives you a vision, he's gonna always give you something that seems it's impossible to do. He's gonna always give you something that man himself cannot do. Why? Because he wants to show you it wasn't man that did.
It wasn't man.
It wasn't nobody but God all by himself.
That's it.
All right, what's up? What's going on, everybody? We're back here once again, and we promised you the Pew Babies show would be on the water, and if you look around, you see nothing but water.
We outside, y'all.
Outside.
In the sea.
Oh, we didn't think we was gonna make it, but we did.
See, that's a testimony all by
It was all types of trouble with the airports.
Come on.
All types of trouble with people getting here, leaving their birth certificates, all the above.
Financial issues,
But
cars
we
getting
thank
locked
God
up. But
that we made it.
we made it.
And I know some upset that they weren't able to make it here with us, but the ones that are meant to be here are here, and we gonna give thanks and we gonna keep it rolling. So we're not gonna be before y'all long.
No.
Now, we wanted to do this because we've been working all day. You see, we on the water, the people are out having a good time, luxuriating, and we want to get to vacationing too. But we got something special for the people on the water.
Special for the water.
So, first of all, let's just give them a quick rundown. How have you been enjoying your time on the boat? All this work, all these interviews, all this networking. I mean, we just, the list, we get numbers and network off the boat.
Come on now and look, it's so amazing. I can't wait for you guys to see the finished products.
Yes.
All the different interviews with the Queensmen,
Yes.
with the designers, and just the ambiance of the boat. And my birthday, baby.
Yes. We are celebrating your birthday as well, and we ain't gonna give them the age or nothing, but we have.
I'll do it.
What tell me?
Listen, my favorite girl was on Saturday Night Live. She said, I'm 50. I can kick, I can stand. I'm 50.
So you made it to the top of the hill, you ain't went over yet.
I ain't went over yet.
Well, we give them thanks for making it to the top.
To the top.
Because we started from the
From the
bottom.
bottom.
And
But
we're
now
moving
we're
on
here.
up here.
Come on.
So, one of the things that we're going to talk about real fast, because you know we got to be funny and all the above with y'all. We are on the boat.
We are on the boat.
And it was only significant to talk about the boat.
Let's talk about the boat.
Because when you look at the word, there's all kinds of boats all throughout it. And there's one significant boat that came to mind when we knew that we was going to be on the boat today. And that is about Peter and the boat. So this is a very common story that you all should know. So we're going to give you a quick scripture this time because we've been talking about it all day.
Right.
And then we're going to jump straight into what is to be said today. So where are we coming from, real
We are coming from, if you have your Bibles, we are coming from Matthew, the 14th chapter. We are going to go from the 22nd through the 33rd verse.
And what is that?
And it reads, and straightway Jesus constrained his disciples to get into the ship and to go before him unto the other side, where he sent the multitudes away. And when he sent the multitudes away, he went unto the mountain apart to pray. And when the evening was come, he was there alone.
Yeah.
But the ship was now in the midst of the sea,
We in the midst of the sea.
tossed with waves.
We
Tossed. Listen, we waving. We are really waving. Tossed with waves. Oh yes, we waving. I felt that from her, all up in her. Tossed it with waves. Oh Lord. Okay. Tossed with waves, for the wind was contrary. Yeah, the wind is contrary. And in the fourth watch, of the night, Jesus went unto them, walking on the sea. And when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled, saying, It is a spirit. And they cried out for fear. But straightway Jesus spake unto them, saying, Be of good cheer, it is I. Be not afraid. And Peter answered to him, Lord, if it be thou, bid me to come unto thee on the water.
Yeah.
And he said, Come. And when Peter was come out of the ship, he walked on the water to go to Jesus. But when he saw the winds boisterous, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried, saying,
Lord,
save me. And immediately Jesus stretched forth his hand and caught him, and said unto him, O thou of little faith, wherefore didst thou doubt? And when they were come unto the ship, the wind ceased. And then they were in the ship, came and worshipped him, saying, O, a truth, thou art the Son of God. God's word for God's people.
in that order.
In that order.
So when you look at this story and us being on the boat and everything that's going on, the topic for today's episode is Are you stronger than the boat?
To your neighbor. Ask your neighbor.
Are you stronger than the boat?
Are you stronger than the boat?
And I know that's kind of crazy to ask that question while we on the boat, on the water,
On the sea.
just on this sea. There's a whole lot of sea we on. And this is the very same question that these men had to think about after he had sent them to go. Now, to break down the story in context real fast, they were going to the other side. He sent them before him, because we know all of y'all ain't Bible readers, so we try to give you the history.
We're going to give you the cliff notes.
There's a cliff notes. He sent them to the other side by themselves. Sometime you're going to have to go through some things and go to the other side of life by yourself. You're not going to be able to always take mama. You're not going to always be able to take daddy. You're not going to always have that friend, that sister, or whoever you think it is. Sometime you're going to have to walk this thing by yourself. Why? Because you came in this thing by yourself, and you're definitely going to go out of it by yourself. So that means you're going to have to learn how to be mature, learn how to persevere and do some things on your own, because a lot of people can't do stuff by themselves. And we learned that on a whole lot of occasions here lately. But you know what? You learn the hard way, because he said a hard head
make a soft butt.
Well,
I'm going to say butt.
and they know what it really
But y'all
say.
already know.
But you know what it really say. So, as we keep going, we see the whole storyline. The disciples on the boat. The storms are raging. All of a sudden, they see a spirit, a ghost.
They thought it was a ghost.
They thought it was a ghost, exactly. Out on the water. So, to give the breakdown even the more, we on the boat. They was on the boat. This boat, I did some research just to get a quick idea of what kind of boat we on.
Oh, okay, come on.
We are on the Margaritaville, as you see. It is called the Paradise. Now, them boats back in that day, these were wooden boats. They wasn't that strong, all the above, so that was a reason to be afraid. And you might not be as strong, or definitely stronger than that boat.
Right.
But this boat that we on right here, it says it is 723 feet long.
Wow.
It is 999.9 feet wide.
Wow.
The tonnage amount, it weighs 52,926 tons. Now, if you don't know what that is, times that by 2,000, that's how much that is. That's how much 1 ton is now. Now, to give you just how much it encaps in the inside of it, that's 430 outside cabins, 228 inside cabins, accommodate 1,680 people, including 580 people that work on the boat alone.
Wow.
That's what we're cruising on right now. Another boat that people make reference to and talk about is the one and only the Titanic.
Come on.
The unsinkable ship. God himself couldn't sink this ship. They
That's
said
what
it.
it said.
But as we sail out, and we ain't selling out where it's at, oh glory,
Oh, glory.
but it is laying at the bottom of the sea where it was not supposed to be sinkable. So you look at that boat.
Let's look at
It says it was 883 feet long, 92.5 feet wide, 175 feet tall.
Good.
I'm just 6'1", so that gives you an idea.
And I'm shorter than that. I'm 5.
This was in 1912. If you need a better example, that is the accumulation of 2.6 football fields, which are 100 yards, so that's 250, 260 yards. If you need a better example, that is 2.9 Statue of Liberties that the Titanic in length was. And we're talking about being stronger in the boat. And I know you're like, why are you breaking down? Why are you giving these things? Because if you have to understand how you're going through life and tests and trials, if a boat that is supposed to be unsinkable can be sunk, how are you supposed to be stronger than that? What are we talking about? We're talking about faith.
Absolutely.
For one, you have to have faith in God, no matter the circumstance, no matter the issue that comes, because guess what? Hell's gonna arise.
It is.
Storms are gonna arise.
It is.
Sometimes you might be on a strong boat, but that boat might end up sinking just because maybe he's trying to move you to a place to stop relying on the boat. What is your boat? That's what I would ask. Look to your neighbor and say, what is your boat?
What is your boat?
Is your boat a family member? Is your boat someone you thought was a friend and they really wasn't? Is your boat a job? Is your boat finances? Is your boat your dream? Is it your goal? Because I've come to realize in this last year, God ain't gonna give you nothing that you think you can do on your own. Anytime he gives you a dream, I'm gonna talk and make myself happy. Anytime he gives you a vision, he's gonna always give you something that seems it's impossible to do. He's gonna always give you something that man himself cannot do. Why? Because he wants to show you it wasn't man that did it.
It wasn't man.
It wasn't nobody but God all by himself.
That's it.
That's why I love this story so much with Peter. Because he said, well, if you bid me, come. He said, come. Sometimes God is just waiting for you to be able to step out the boat.
But now, when we were talking about the boat, I'm gonna tell you, and I got all that. But I'm gonna tell you, when we started talking about the boat, I started thinking about Paul. And you know, when Paul was with the prisoners,
I know where you're going.
And when the ship broke and it started breaking into all these pieces, and some of these prisoners couldn't swim a lick. Like I can say, I can't swim a lick. And before we got on this boat, and before the boat could even leave off, they had what they call a muster section.
Yes.
Where we all had to come together, and they would tell us what we would have to do in case of an emergency.
We'll take us back to the Titanic.
Takes us back to the Titanic. Every person in this ship has life preservers in their room, and then there's a specific place that you're supposed to meet in order to get to the lifeboat or wherever it is that you need to get to safety. That means you had to listen to the plan.
That's right.
And God gives us a plan, and he makes sure that we have to hear whatever this plan is. But this is the kicker. If you don't listen, or if you mishear, when an emergency occurs, do you know where your life raft is?
Do you know where you're supposed to be positioned?
Do you know where your safety is? And if you don't know where your safety is, you'll end up like Paul. When that ship breaks, it broke into so many pieces. And those prisoners didn't know what to do. So you know what they did? They got on them broken pieces and they rolled them broken pieces to safety. So this is what I want to ask you. What broken pieces are you riding on to get to that safety spot? To get to that place where you're not on those waves anymore? To get to that spot where you're not worrying whether or not you gonna sink or swim. So ask yourself, while we're asking all these questions, do you know where your safety spot is? Can you ride on those broken pieces? And what are broken pieces? Those are our flaws.
Yeah.
Those are the things that make us imperfection.
Yeah.
Those are the things, and that's something that even when we've been interviewing all these individuals today, they all admitted that they had flaws, but then they also admitted that they overcame those flaws and became successful.
Yeah.
Can you take whatever those flaws that you've gone through and make yourself successful and make yourself get to the promised place that God has set for you?
Well, that's why I think it, because I take it as redemptive revelation.
That's it.
That's the way he gave it to me. With redemptive revelation, that's putting the plan to motion. Because there's a lot of things that we sitting on and that we want to do and we say we're going to do, just like the ship that we are right now. We're here for the Queensman. We're here for the fashion show. We have a lot of aspiring models who want to go forth and all, but they can't sit and do nothing and think that they're going to make it. You can't sit on your butt not doing it thinking that people are going to know who you are. That's why you have to network. That's why you have to stretch yourself. And when you get the plan, put it to motion. Now, if y'all don't think I know what I'm talking about, we can turn to Habakkuk, where it talks about writing it down and making it plain. So many of us are afraid to write a plan down. Don't have no type of business plan. Don't have any type of entrepreneurs to link up and with all the above. But you say you got the drink. Put it to work. And don't be someone like Jonah. Now that's another boat right there. He was running from what he was supposed to do. It's a lot of you right now. You wish that you was doing something. You're supposed to be doing something. You know that you're supposed to be in a particular place, but because of people, because of how people look at you, I can talk about that, about myself, how they think just because you know one thing about me, that limits me to one area. But look at me right now, outside on the water. You tried to hold me within the limits of a box, but I'm so thankful that I know that I serve a God that he can't be put into a box, because he is the one that is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all
that we can ask or even think.
So do he have to throw you into the mouth of a whale,
or does he have to break up your ship to where you have to be in those broken pieces?
And don't fret the broken pieces now, because relating this back to the Titanic now, Jack
come on.
and Rose, once the ship went down. Now see, some of us are so hard-headed, the ship got to sink sometime for us to wake up and realize what needs to be done. That means he may have to separate you from people. That means he may have to get you evicted from a certain place, get you fired, or whatever, all the different words I can use when it comes to a job. Because once we get into a comfort zone, we become stagnant.
He may put you in a place where you have to be alone, to where you have to listen to your own thoughts.
I don't despise the desert preparation. I don't desire being like a Moses experience, because that's where you get your battlegrounds and your battle wounds and all your testing.
Absolutely. And what is it? Our testings are the things that what make us stronger.
Make us stronger, and once he's done, we're gonna come out pure gold.
That's it.
So like Jack and Rose, the ship is sank. And now all they had to do was hold on to those very broken pieces.
That's it.
That you was just talking about. What am I saying? Sometimes you gotta hold on to the very little bit you got. You might be on your last straw. You might be at wit's end. But know who you are. That's why I'm so glad we got to talk to the confident brother. What was his name? Cedric. Yes. Oh, he exuded confidence. That's why I'm sitting here so excited the way I am right now, because that's it. I know who I am.
That's it.
And I know who I belong for. And that's why I'm sitting here on the water while you sitting at home watching me. God bless.
That's it. Listen,
but we got to keep it real.
We do. Because, I'm going to just be honest with you. There were some people that didn't think Pew Babies, we talked about this during the anniversary.
Yes, we did.
That Pew Babies wouldn't make it past year 1.
Yeah.
We at year 3.
Yeah.
Season 6.
Yeah. Through the transition.
And now we're about to go through the process. But we can't tell you too much.
No, we can't tell you too much. We can't tell you too much. So, with that being said, you have to keep the vision. Write it down. Make it plain. Don't be afraid to step out the boat, because while everybody else sitting there on the boat looking crazy, sinking with it, you could be walking on water.
And I'm going to tell you this, and we're going to leave it at that. The one thing that caused Peter to sink was his own self-doubt.
Self-infliction is what I call it.
Yep.
And I don't deal with people that do self-infliction.
Me neither.
You got to do better.
You got to
want better.
do better. You got to do better.
Stop sitting on your butt. Get a job.
That's it.
You want to do better? Go to school.
That's it.
You want a husband? You can't keep sitting at home not trying to meet nobody. All of them, and they ain't gonna like this. Everybody's wife and husband ain't in the church. As I look directly at the camera. Don't let your pastors fool you and think that they have to give you permission. But at the end of the day, you have to live your life.
That's a lie.
I don't know why I felt to go that way, but all of a sudden it just came over.
He talking.
Do better. Don't be stagnant. Don't be stuck.
Do better, but
be better. And I think that's a good point to end it right there.
We putting a pin right there. We landing this plane. But we thank you guys for watching us as usual. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. And most importantly, comment, share.
Yes.
Let your friends know that the Pew Babies are at sea and we're still on the air.
To the Bahamas.